everyone. Welcome to the Dancing Bear Enlightenment Academy's Holistic Transformation Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Beverly, and today we're going to talk about your body's birth chart. We're going to explore astrology and holistic health and how they interact with each other. In other words, each sign represents a body part. And as the planets move and your chart is affected by all these movements, your health can be impacted. And so I'm just going to quickly go through each of the signs and talk about the body part, what some of the stressors are for that sign in terms of health, and then a couple of things you can do about it, like maybe a tea or an essential oil or a Bach flower essence, something like that. So let me just do a share screen here. Okay. So let's talk about what is medical astrology. So it's an ancient practice that looks at how your chart influences your physical, emotional, and spiritual health tendencies. So it's not just physical, it can also be emotional, and frequently it involves spiritual as well. So each sign rules a body part, like I said earlier, and that includes physiological, psychological functionings, offering clues on where you might experience vitality, areas to give you extra love and support, as well as areas of stress. So it's important to remember that this isn't about fear or prediction. Okay, this is about energy. What is your energy going on? How is the energy around you affecting you potentially? And what you can do to mitigate that, because just because it says, oh, this is going to happen, this is the energy, doesn't mean that it has to impact you. You may feel it, you may go through it. You may know, like this one astrologer I listened to said, I forgot, it was a long time ago, I don't remember what planetary alignment happened, but she said it meant that she and her husband would argue a lot. So she went and talked to her husband ahead of time and said, hey, going into this energy, so if I'm cranky or something, please forgive me. And then later she said it worked out really well because they knew what the energy was ahead of time. So that's really what we're talking about. So it's important to remember this isn't fear or prediction. It's about the flow of energy, awarenesses, and empowerment. So we understand our celestial blueprint. We can nurture ourselves with compassion. So if you know, oh, you know what? I'm going to have Saturn going into Pisces. I don't know about you, but when Saturn's in Pisces, I don't do too well. So when I know that's our Mars, that was horrible. I'm a Cancer ascendant Mars. Oh my God. If you'll recall when Mars was in Cancer and it went into Leo and it retrograded back and it went, I was so glad when it finally left Cancer because there was all this road rage. Everybody was angry. It was not a fun time for anybody, but it wasn't fun for me either. So think of the zodiac as your body. So we're going to look at your body as a cosmic body. So we're going to go through each sign, the area it rules, common sensitivities, and simple ways to support yourself. So this is for sun, moon, rising, or any strong placements in your chart, such as if you have a stellium or a yod, then this could affect your part of the chart depending on what's going through that area. So all of the different 12 signs of the zodiac can affect you, but particularly your sun, moon, and ascendant, if you know your ascendant. Your ascendant, you need to know your birth time. So if you don't know your birth time, I would contact someone that I don't do rectifications, at least not at this time. I may in the future. So you would have to contact astrologer that does rectification charts, and they figure out what your birth time is. And the reason you need to know that is it tells you what house things are in. So you're affected by the sign, the planets, and the house, as well as where the planets and luminaries are transitioning. Transitioning? Transiting. I'm dyslexic. Sorry, I sometimes pick the wrong word. The outer planet transiting and the effect they have on your natal chart. Okay, so let's start with Aries. It rules the head. So it starts at the top and it just works its way down to your feet. Okay, obviously Pisces is at the bottom. It's the end of the chart. So Aries is your head, your brain, your eyes. Its energy can run hot. You can get headaches, eye strain, might pop up with when stress builds up. We have a lot of planets transiting Aries right now. Sun, Neptune, Sun and Neptune together. So Sun, Neptune, Saturn. I think Venus is there until I think it just moved out. I'm recording this before the 4th, and I think it moved on the 4th. So you'll be seeing this after the 4th. So some of the things you can try is rosemary, comes as essential oils or as a tea. Peppermint comes as essential oils or a tea. And for clarity and cooling, you can use these. For Bach flower essences, you can try impatience. So impatience is lovely for Aries, impatience. So sometimes the name implies what it does. Okay, let's move on to Taurus, so Aries was a fire sign, Taurus is an earth sign. So this is moving down from the head. It's your neck, your throat, and your thyroid. So Taurus loves comfort, but watch the throat for tension. A lot of Taurus people get stiff neck in the back, traps. Their traps can tighten up, so they get shoulder pain. So this can cause tension in the throat. It can cause thyroid sluggishness. So that'll cause Taurus to gain a little bit of weight. So things you can do is thyme as a tea, or I'm pretty sure you can get it as an essential oil. Lavender is an essential oil. I don't know what I'd do without lavender. I'm not a Taurus. I don't even have anything in Taurus, but you can use this for almost anything that ails you. And then Sanctuary is a flower essence that supports balance. So that can help you get in and stay in balance. So next comes Gemini, which is an air sign. And this rules the shoulders, the arms, the lungs, and the nervous system. So Gemini minds run a mile a minute. They're usually pretty intelligent, but they tend to be a little bit scattered. Gemini energy is kind of scattered. So breath practices are essential. So inhale. A lot of air signs tend to shallow breathe. You can see their shoulders going up. So they need to remember to breathe deep, do those deep belly breaths. And some things that might help are things like lemon balm, that comes as an essential oil, eucalyptus oil, and then white chestnut flower essence for soothing those racing thoughts. So if you have a monkey mind, you might want to try white chestnut. Okay, now we move to Cancer, which is a water sign, and it rules the chest, the stomach, and digestion. And really, this is the digestion in the stomach part of the body. We'll move on to the intestines in the next couple of signs. So Cancer energy holds emotions in the belly. So you need to nurture your feelings and emotions. So you can try chamomile tea, which I love. It also helps if you need help sleeping. Fennel is really good. You can get like little fennel seeds and eat them after you eat. It really helps with digestion. And then agrimony as a flower essence remedy to ease your emotional digestion. So if you're a what do you call it, emotional eater, or you have some kind of eating disorder, you might want to try agrimony. And then for older people, I suggest digestive enzymes because your stomach acid decreases as you age. And so you may have trouble completely digesting your food. So then instead of going into your intestines all ground up and as a liquid, it may still be in particles, and that can cause a lot of pain and gas and bloating and all kinds of problems. So I suggest digestive enzymes, probably starting in your 60s. By the time you're in your 70s or older, you're definitely going to need digestive enzymes. Okay, Leo, a fire sign again. So we've gone through all the elements and we're back to fire, ruled by the sun, and it is the heart, the spine, and circulation. So if you'll recall, Leo the lion, I don't know what his name was. I called him Leo, but I don't know his name. Anyway, in The Wizard of Oz, what did the lion want? He wanted a heart, because that's what Leo is about. That's what the lion is about. It's about the heart, the spine, and circulation. Of course, the heart pumps the blood. So Leo rules the heart physically and emotionally. In Chinese medicine, each of the main organ systems have an emotion we associate it with it, like liver is anger, lungs are pain, grief, kidneys are fear, stomach, spleen is about worry and overthinking. But for the heart, all of those different emotions also affect the heart. So if you've buried something, you haven't been dealing with it, it's going to affect your Leo aspect. So things you can do, one is hawthorn berry. If you have any kind of blood pressure or circulation problems, once a year I buy what do you call it, a tincture. You can get pills or tinctures. I like to use tinctures. They come in a bottle and you put some in some warm water, then the alcohol evaporates. And I just take one bottle until it's gone once a year, because this cleans out your arteries. It helps balance out your blood pressure. It's really good for heart support. Then, of course, there's frankincense, which you can get as incense, essential oils. It comes in many different forms. I just bought a frankincense balm, and I've been using that on my face. Frankincense has so many uses. It's for spiritual help, spiritual development. It's mildly antimicrobial. It's nervine, sedating, all kinds of good things. It's like the next level of lavender. So lavender is very, very mild. Almost everybody can tolerate it. Even small children can, and pets, most pets can tolerate lavender. But if you want something a little bit stronger, then you go with the frankincense. Then for the flower essence remedies, vervain will help keep your passions balanced. So if you're trying to deal with fear, I know there's a lot of fear going on right now everywhere, and grief from all the losses people are experiencing, then you might want to try some vervain. Okay, Virgo, our second earth sign. This rules the digestive tract. So this is from the stomach going into the intestines, in the small intestines. So Virgo stress often winds up in the gut. So when you are stressed, and Virgos tend to hold everything in, you don't always know how they're feeling. They want, these are the perfectionists, they want everything just right. And when it isn't, this leads to their own internal stress. It's not even an external stress, it's internal. So some things that will help is ginger. I love ginger. If you have some fresh ginger, put it in everything you cook. It's antimicrobial, it's detoxing. You can take a ginger foot bath. You can take a ginger bath. You may want to put some lavender and Epsom salt in the bath or the foot bath. with the ginger, but it's really good at detoxing both emotions and the body. Then, of course, there's peppermint. There's several essential oils that I consider in the top 7 that you should have, and this is what: lavender, frankincense, peppermint, lemon, and tea tree, which we'll cover in a minute. And you can get peppermint tea. So sometimes after I eat, I go, oh man, that didn't agree with me. I'll have a cup of peppermint tea. It's really, really incredible. And then for your essence, you can use crabapple. And so it's very cleansing of the body and the emotions, and it's calming. The nice thing about these I use Bach flower essences, and they mainly work on emotions, but your emotions affect the body. So when you cleanse the emotions, you're cleansing the body because the emotions get stuck. Okay, Libra, this is our second air sign. It rules kidneys, low back, and skin. Now, in Chinese medicine, of course, the skin is ruled by the lungs, and things that break out on the skin is actually ruled by the liver. So when I see these things and they say, oh, it's ruled by this, I look at other placements and what else is going on. So you may have a Libra placement with skin issues, and it may be because you have something transiting one of the other signs. So just keep that in mind. It's not black and white. So hydration is key for a Libra. They need to avoid sugar, alcohol, caffeine, wheat, all those things that can lead to diabetes and imbalances in your metabolism. Okay, and so some of the things for that is nettle tea, rose oil. Rose oil is really nice if you can find it as a spritzer. I have some, and I will just spritz my face. Oh my gosh, that does so much. And then a scleranthus is the flower essence to promote balance. And Libra is, remember, the balance, what do you call it? Anyway, the woman that holds the balances. In law, they use her. Okay, Scorpio, a water sign. So Scorpio rules reproductive organs and the elimination system. So now we're down to the colon. So Scorpio energy runs deep, deep things flowing. So this could be emotions as well as your elimination system. Raspberry leaf, raspberry tea is wonderful. Patchouli, I'm not a fan of patchouli, but you can get it as an essential oil and you can get it as an incense. And then for your flower essence, you might try chicory to encourage healthy release in case you're constipated. Okay, Sagittarius. Now we're back to the third fire sign. So we're starting our third set of elements. It rules the hips, the thighs, and the liver. Now, if you've taken my Own for Success program, you know that Aether rules the liver in TCM. And TCM, we call it wood, which is Aether. Well, it just so happens that the 13th constellation, Ophiuchus, overlaps Sagittarius. So it's something like, I think, November 30th till December 13th, something like that, is actually overlapping Sagittarius. So that fits in with TCM. So it supports liver detox, and stretching often helps because the liver is right under the diaphragm, and sometimes we might be scrunched over looking at our computer or scrunched over looking at our smartphone or whatever we're doing. You need to stand up straight and do a nice big stretch to open that liver area up so that it's not compressed. So some of the things that helps the liver are dandelion root. Now, dandelion root makes an excellent tea, especially in the summer. It not only detoxes the liver, it cools you off. So it's a wonderful tea. It's a little bit earthy tasting, so I don't mind earthy tasting things, but if you do, you might want to add a little butter, make, what do they call it? Bullet coffee, but it's going to be bullet tea instead, or some heavy whipping cream. Then you can use sage. I like to burn sage, but you can also get sage tea, sage essential oils. So however you like to, whatever format works best for you. And then the essential oil might be wild oat to align and purpose the body. Capricorn, this is our third and last earth sign. It rules the bones, the knees, and the teeth. So Capricorn thrives with mineral support. So I'm a Capricorn sun, and I buy minerals in a liquid form, and I put them in my morning water that I take my supplements with. So I don't have to take another pill. But that seems to work really well for me. So you don't have to add another pill, but you can just get a liquid and you just squirt it in your water, and it's almost tasteless. So things you can use is horsetail, either as an herb or essential oil, cedar wood also as an herb or essential oil, and then oak essence to aid strength and improve resilience. Capricorns are usually pretty resilient, but when they get stressed, they lose their resilience. So if you find yourself like that, you might want to try some oak flower essence. And our last air sign is Aquarius. So this rules the circulatory system, the ankles, and the nerves. And this is more like your anxiety types of nerves. So it helps you stay grounded and calm, the Aquarius jitters. So Aquarians can be a little bit anxious. So we suggest gotu kola. You can get that as an herb or as a tea. Neroli, it's actually a citrus. It's a blossom of the bitter orange tree, and it helps relieve your nerves. And then water violet flower essence to bring soothing energy flow. So if you haven't heard of neroli, it's very commonly used in Ayurvedic medicine. Okay, Pisces, the end of the chart, and this is the last water sign. So this rules your feet, your lymph, and the immune system. So it is porous, protects your energy. So this is another sign, kind of like Gemini, where that Gemini can be all over the place, and so can Pisces. That's why it says it's porous. And we all felt that when we had Saturn in Pisces. It was nice when it went into Aries. If you do well, I do well with Aries. So depends on your chart. So you can have echinacea. Echinacea, I don't know if you've seen echinacea flowers. They're absolutely gorgeous. It makes, you can get tinctures, you can get teas, you can grow your own echinacea grow. If you're in Arizona or in a desert, echinacea grows there. You can get tea tree oil. Remember I said the top 7 oils, tea tree is one of them. It's antimicrobial. And for the flower essence, I suggest clematis. Now, this is a beautiful, beautiful flower. Clematis is a vine, it has a beautiful flower. And if you get the essence, it helps you stay rooted because it's a vine. And so the roots go all the way down, but it goes all over the place. So that's how the zodiac maps onto the body. Okay, so how do you apply all this? Think about your sun, your moon, your rising sign. Each offers a window to your core vitality, emotional needs, and how your body processes energy. And so does the transiting. Anything transiting your sun, your moon, or your rising sign, or your ascendant is also the rising sign. Or think about, where is Saturn and where is Mars in your chart? Like I have a Capricorn sun and an Aquarian moon. So wherever Saturn is, I'm affected big time. So do you have strong placements with Saturn? And of course, I have Mars conjunct my sun. So wherever Mars is, I'm heavily affected. So look at your chart and see if you have Saturn or Mars someplace where you might be affected. And like I said, when Mars was in Cancer, everybody was affected. I think I didn't even want to go anywhere because there was so much road rage everywhere. I didn't want to even be on the road. So keep a wellness journal. So make a note of how you're feeling during the different moon phases and planetary seasons. So we just had a new moon. What's going on? If we have a full moon, did you do any rituals? Did you, for a new moon, might start something new or set a new intention. On a full moon, you want to collect it. So like when I have a garden, I plant it on a new moon, I harvest on a full moon, that kind of thing. If you're going to make your own tinctures, I start them on a new moon, I harvest them on a full moon. So that's how you can use the luminaries and the movement of the planets to make a note of how they affect you. Sorry, I got the hiccups. I just have to wait till I stop. So as you start to journal this, then you can go back the next year and say, what did this happen last time? Because everything repeats every year. It's not always exactly the same because the outer planets change, but the inner planets just keep going around. Jupiter spends 1 year in each sign, and Saturn spends about 2.5. But Venus, Mercury, it's the other way. Mercury, Venus, Mars only spend a small amount of time in each sign. So they go through each sign sometimes several times a year. And then, of course, you've got the moon going around, making its impact every 14 days. The full cycle is 28, but you have a new moon and then a full moon. So it's 14. So keep your journal so that you can look back at how they affected you in the past, because everything repeats. So hope this information can be a guide. It's not a rigid rule. Like I was saying, TCM looks at things differently, and other planets may be affecting the sign, and you may be susceptible to something because of this sign, but some other sign is affecting you in another way. So let me just do a stop share. Okay, there we are. So what does this mean going forward? Keep your journal and be mindful of how you're feeling and what's going on. And it really does help to journal it, write it down, because as you write it down and you look at it and you go, oh, it's different when you write it down than when it's in your head. I mean, you've heard people in movies say something and they go, it sounded better in my head. That's what happens to us. Everything sounds okay in our head. And when you write it down and you look at it and you go, really? Oh, no. That's the power of keeping your journal. You don't have to ever read it, and you don't share your journal with anybody. It's just for you. And that's the only thing it's for. So keep in mind on July 20th, sorry, my brain went blank. July 20th, I'll be at a conference. I'll have the link down below. It's free. It's the 19th and 20th. I talk on the 20th around 11:24. And on July 30th, I have a class coming up that you might be interested in. And again, they'll all be down below. So if you like to explore your personal health blueprint, you can book a private medical astrology chart session with me. And again, that's dbmedicalastrology.com, and the link will be down below. And we can dive deep into your planets, your health patterns, and make some custom recommendations for you. So until next time, stay alive, stay luminous, and remember to be the light you want to see in the world.